Good morning. We'll call the meeting to order for the Brookings County Commission for Tuesday, October 24th, 2023. Please rise for the pledge. Number 3 on the agenda is an invitation for a citizen to schedule a time on the commission agenda for an item not listed. There's a 5-minute time limit per person. Anyone wanting to speak during this agenda item must sign in prior to the start of the meeting. No commission action will be taken during the agenda item. Any requested action item may be scheduled for a future meeting date. And we have nobody signed up today. So number 4 on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second. Discussion, additions to the agenda?
The exec session, we need to add per codified law 125.24 for contract negotiations.
All right, got that change. Any other changes? Discussion. With the change, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Consent agenda, which includes the minutes, the travel education requests, personnel action notices, cellular authorization, and human services report. Is there a motion to approve?
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion on the consent agenda items. Hearing none, please call the roll.
Vanderwall.
Aye.
Bartley.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Hostler.
Aye.
Krogman.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Number 6 is routine business. Letter A is approval of claims. Is there a motion to approve the claims?
Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion on the claims. Any changes, any additions? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Bartley.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Hostler.
Aye.
Vanderwall.
Aye.
Krogman.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, department head reports. I'll start with you, Sheriff.
Good morning.
Morning.
Just a convention center, 50 inmates. We have 15 from the U.S. Marshal Service and 8 from Moody County, 1 from Dual County. And then I think we're at probation hold. The 24/7 area, we have 135 participants. 45 come in, every 12 hours and below, and we have UAs and stuff that, so that 24/7 stays busy. For the jail, I'm sure the city police were busy with disturbance calls, but the jail for Hobo Day was probably one of the better Hobo Days for a long time. So we had staff and we were ready, but it's always better to be overstaffed than understaffed. So yeah, but anyway, it was a good Hobo Day for us at the jail. So anyway, then we had and I know you've been kept up with Lieutenant Beitler is kept, I think, Stacy informed with our glyco leak in the nurses station, and safety benefits insurance has been there and looked it over. What's good about it that they've kind of, our insurance is kind of helping taking over the insurance for the company that from what is it, Reckling Brothers that did that, Larry, up there? Yeah, Redlinger, I'm sorry. And so it's going to work out good. There's probably, I don't know, we got about $3,000 in damage. IT, Sean came over right away and assessed the damage with the computers and so forth. So we probably got $2,500 to $3,000 in equipment. What we're waiting on now is the company to come and replace the ceiling. What's good about that, we didn't put carpet in that area, so we don't have carpet damage and stuff. So, but we're probably 2 to 3 weeks out before we get that back for the nurse to go in there. Right now, we got her in the second station at the 24/7 area. So it's not the handiest for her, but it's working out. So other than that, Thursday received 2 subpoenas from the Attorney General's office for 2 employees. One employee I still is employed. The other one isn't. To go to Sioux Falls tomorrow, and I'm going to take them down to a hearing for the standards and training on an incident that happened in the detention center in April. Another agency is involved, but they're witnesses in that, so I'll take them down. Other than that, we're staying busy. It's harvest time, so we're getting those types of complaints of traffic and trucks running stop signs and running over stop signs and that type, but it's an everyday, or every year it happens about this time, so. Deer accidents continue now that the corn's coming out, that's increasing again too, so. Other than that, if you guys have any questions?
Questions?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Lori?
Good morning.
Morning.
I want that the second half of property taxes are due by the end of the month. We do have a drop box located in the hallway outside of the finance office and also on the west side of the building for after hours. If you want a receipt, be sure and write that in there, or we will not mail one to you. You can also pay online with your credit card. If you go to the Brookings County website, you can go to the right side of the homepage, and there's a tab that says click on taxes and directions from there. Wanting to let you know, we did attend a conference on voting and elections. It went really well. It reinforced that we are doing things right here and that our plan to go forward with not introducing anything that is not endorsed by Secretary of State's office is probably in our best interest. And we'll be having another one of those after the first of the year where we're going to do an actual election so that everybody's doing it the same way and everybody can feel confident in that. Secretary or the state auditors are in the office next door. So if you have any questions for them, feel free to stop by or let me know and I will pass it on. And that's it.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Bob?
Good morning.
Morning.
On October 12th, October 13th, we had Office of Emergency Management Region 6 meeting through the Zoom program or Teams meeting. And October 18th, we tested our iPods. And of course, earlier this month, they had that nationwide iPods test. October 25th, tomorrow, me and Richard will be attending South Dakota Planners Association Conference in Mitchell. On Thursday, I'll be down in Sioux Falls at a National Weather Service winter meeting. On October 30th, Monday, Department of Transportation is having a winter meeting over here locally. I'll be sending Richard over to that meeting. November 9th, there is a PPCC pod meeting over at the ambulance station this time, and we've got mass fatality training during the same time. We was able to get the Department of Health to bring up their mass fatality trailer, so I invited the sheriff's office with their deputy coroners to come over to it, and that should be a real good training session. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Bob?
Yeah, we have one be it noted item under County Development Department, Chairperson Krogman to sign the quarterly local grant report. That is for the minutes. Next, we have our 4-H Director, Sonia Mack, here to give us a report. So. Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
National 4-H Week has passed, and you didn't meet that week, so I wasn't able to be here. But happy National 4-H. Focus on that, as this is the month that 4-H kicks off its new year. October 1st, everybody that was currently an active 4-H member for 2022-2023 became inactive, so they get to re-enroll each year. We ran a little promo the first week of the month in conjunction with National 4-H Week to get enrolled this week so we can get you into a drawing for some free 4-H swag, which just creates less challenge for them as the year goes on, especially as we think about the things that are happening this week. So this has been a busy week. We have a committee working on some revisions to our 4-H record books. Record books are part of completing your 4-H year, and we've got a book that we revised and are using, that's about 5 years old. Not a whole lot different than what a lot of other counties use, but can be somewhat challenging for people, and there was kind of this idea that maybe there was a little bit of redundancy. So just after some discussion at our September leaders meeting, we're taking a look at some pieces that we might be able to streamline in order to make it a more feasible process for parents and 4-H members. There's some of you that have maybe done 4-H books with or record books with 4-H members, and I shared last night with the group too that my memory of the 4-H record book is sitting at the kitchen table with my mom in the kitchen, and there being a very heated argument about why I have to do this. And there were some things noted out of record books that were submitted this year that I think are kind of a valuable highlight to share. One of our senior 4-H members, she graduated from 4-H and has moved on to Mitchell Tech this year. She indicated in her record book that as her regular observations of her beef herd, quickly noticed that her cattle were losing weight after changing the feed ration, which is not an ideal situation, especially when you're trying to get them to a market weight, and you want them at market weight in 1 month so that they look great in the show ring. Recognized that there was changes that needed to be made and did so and was back on the right track. But I think that so many times individuals are losing sight of why we keep a record book. And it isn't just for busy work. It is to help instill and develop a life skill that you will utilize the rest of your life. This individual has a job actually in the Mitchell area working with a beef producer in their farm, and has already recognized the value of being able to keep those records and implementing what she's learning in that job back into her own animal projects. Even though she's done with 4-H, she still has the ownership of those animals. So that was something that I've gleaned this month as those individuals have turned in their record books, and shared that last night with that group as well. We're going to end our week with a shooting sport instructor training on Saturday. We have at least 3 currently registered from Brookings that are becoming new volunteers and new shooting sport instructors. There's 20, I think, signed up for the day-long training as it sits from the list I received yesterday. And then our 4-H shooting sports instructors are holding an open house on Sunday afternoon, encouraging individuals that have an interest in participating in shooting sports this year to come, ask their questions, figure out what it is that they need to do to become enrolled, so that when the registration opens up in November, typically the week of Thanksgiving, that they don't run up against a roadblock, because the programs work together. So if it doesn't recognize you as an active 4-H member, it won't allow you access. And that causes a lot of stress and anxiety when you're trying to get into the slot that you want. So that'll round out our week of October. November starts some in-school and after-school programming, as well as our 4-H recognition event, which will be held on Tuesday, November 14th. Backing up a little bit, I'm going to just work backwards now. October, I attended the National Association of Extension 4-H Youth Development Professionals annual conference in Pittsburgh. My coworker and I submitted a proposal for a workshop that was selected earlier this year. So we gave our presentation in the workforce development area, focusing on the curriculums that our outcome team has developed that are online courses called Career Conversations, Exploring My Future in the 605, and Operation Occupation, Unlock Your Potential. Both designed to be a career exploration curriculum, one that's a little bit more in-depth, one that's a little bit more interactive and kind of game style based, using escape rooms, online escape rooms. Can be used in classrooms, can be used at home, can be used in 4-H clubs. There's a number of mediums methods for distributing that information. There was over 40 participants from the conference that attended our workshop. Each workshop period within the schedule probably had about 20 opportunities for you to select from. Those 40 individuals represented more than 20 universities from across the United States. So we felt good about the number of individuals we had and the feedback that we received. Just some dialogue with those that were in attendance, and they all were looking for just more content and more opportunities to educate their 4-H members or their youth audiences with career exploration. Now, perhaps some of our jobs that are featured in Operation Occupation and in career conversations are not found where they're at. Maybe, maybe not, because we do focus on jobs that are in our area, really because we're trying to instill within young people that there are job opportunities in South Dakota. You don't need to leave to find your dream job. But we had a positive experience. We also, as a group of 4-H advisors kind of from this northeast corner, were regional winners for a teamwork award that was also submitted by the March deadline. What that means is that we're made up of all these different regions. We represent the North Central region. We were selected the winners at the state level, at the region level. Our award went on to national selection, but we were not the national winners out of the 5 or 6 men that would have ended up in that pool. Summer was fast and furious, and it's hard to believe that here we are sitting at the end of October already, and I feel like Achievement Days in June weren't that far away from where we're sitting today, but we had a positive summer of events and activities, participation in different youth in action and project areas like horse and dog continued to be strong. Our shooting sport program continued through the summer with shotgun and muzzle loader. Our Achievement Day event was one that went well. Fortunate that the weather was cooperative. I mean, it might have been a little warm. I don't even really remember, but the Swift Health Dakota Bank Center did a nice job of making a comfortable environment for everybody that was there. Incorporated a few new pieces into our Achievement Days this year with additional food trucks and some food options that were held throughout the week. A movie night that was well received with popcorn and stuff on, I think, Wednesday. And concluded with our barbecue, of which I was grateful for those of you that were able to help serve that evening as we enjoy that opportunity for camaraderie and fellowship with those that are there to support their 4-H members, those that are there to support the program as a whole. It's just a nice culminating event that allows for, like I said, that opportunity to just sit down and have some fellowship and interact with people you might not otherwise have a chance to see. So from there, we had a successful state fair as far as 4-H members are concerned. I shared with the Extension Board the other day that I think the success that our 4-H members are having at the state level and then given opportunities to move on to nationals, for example, we have a 4-H member that will be going to, with a team to Louisville, Kentucky here in November for livestock judging. Another individual that will be going to Denver in January with a horse quiz bowl. Individuals that have already qualified for the 2024 National Shooting Sports, as well as just individual successes at the state fair, I think really shows that we have 4-H members who are mastering their project areas. And by no means are they an expert. I mean, we've got some beginners that do really well, but they've got a lot to learn, but in their age group, they're on the right track to being a very successful individual in that area as far as already placing first as a beginner or junior in some of those competitions. So as far as we look at 4-H mastery, we definitely have a nice crop of 4-H members that are passionate about what they're doing and put in a lot of time and effort, and I think that is evident in the results that they achieve. I wanted to note that the addition project at the OAC that's attaching to our office and the GFMP, I can't speak to that side necessarily, other than I know that electricity has been put in, and Dustin told me last week that progress is on hold until the state inspector comes to check out the electrical. But I have been working with office peeps to get some fixtures selected for that storage workroom. I've been going back and forth with them a little bit, and I haven't got a final look from them nor a final price of any sort that might come along with the purchase of those items, but that is where I'm at with that process. Are there any questions for me?
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
coming. Can you do me a favor? Can you take that microphone and push it this way a little ways? Maybe you get, yeah, I think so. Well, thank you for coming to visit with us. We
Thank
appreciate
you. Have
it.
a wonderful afternoon. Because you're not there yet, but when you do, it's going to be great.
All right. Highway Department, Brian's not here today. Do we have an update? Brian?
So we did, if you recall back, at one of our last meetings, we approved the 5-year plan, and the notice in the packet was just that has been approved by DOT already, so got word of that.
All right, good. We have a few more be it noted items for the minutes, the auditor's account with the treasurer, the payroll and additive totals, the highway expenditure report, and the register of deeds statement of fees collected. And those are be it noted items for the minutes from the finance office. All right, we will move on to regular business for a few minutes here before we meet 9 o'clock for our scheduled agenda items. Under A, from number 8, regular business, this is the first reading of ordinance 2023-03, an ordinance authorizing rezoning of the south 710 feet of Block 1 Hanson Edition, located in the north half of the northwest quarter in the government lots 1, 2, and 3, and in lots 9A and 10A of Carmel Beach Edition, all in Section 10, Township 112 North, Range 47 West of the 5th Prime Meridian, Brookings County, South Dakota, Lake Hendricks Township. This is the first reading, and this is just a title-only reading. We are noting the second reading, which we will take up discussion and possible action for November 7th, 2023 at 9 a.m. All right, letter B, an action to approve Resolution 23-46, a resolution establishing hours of operation for Brookings County offices. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
Second. All right, discussion. Comments?
Comments or, yeah, I guess I would just take any questions or comments from the board.
Okay, this kind of updates a previous resolution that we had about, how many years ago was it?
I think we last updated this about 12 years ago, so just updating things.
All right, any other further comments or questions? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Jensen,
Aye.
Hostler,
Aye.
Vanderwall,
Aye.
Bartley,
Aye.
Krogman,
Aye.
motion carries.
Letter C is action to approve agreement 23-63, a State of South Dakota Department of Public Safety, Office of Emergency Management subrecipient agreement to update the Brookings County Pre-Disaster Mitigation Plan. Is there a motion to approve?
Move approval.
Second.
All right, discussion, comments.
The pre-disaster mitigation plan has to be updated every 5 years. That's the document that allows us to receive FEMA disaster funds when they come. With our last one dated 2019, it has to be updated in 2024. First District has a program where they assist us with it, and they use their dues to pay for there's always a match, 75-25, and our 25% match will be our dues, come out of the dues that we pay towards the First Planning District.
Any further discussion, comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Hostler,
Aye.
Vanderwall,
Aye.
Bartley,
Aye.
Jensen,
Aye.
Krogman,
Aye.
motion carries.
All right, letter D, action to approve agreement 23-64, a letter of agreement between Brookings County and First District Association of Local Governments regarding the Brookings County Emergency Management Pre-Disaster Mitigation Plan. Is there a motion to approve?
So
Move to
moved.
approve.
Second.
Second. Discussion, comments?
Once again, this is part of the discussion from the last
All right,
agreement.
any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Vanderwall.
Aye.
Bartley.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Hostler.
Aye.
Krogman.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Letter E is action to approve agreement 23-65, an agreement between Brookings County and ARS, a Tetra American company for the historic courthouse roof replacement. Is there a motion to approve?
Move approve.
Second.
Okay, discussion, comments?
This is the contract with the company that was the low bidder for the replacement of the courthouse roof, so this will get that project moving forward.
All right, any further discussion or comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Bartley.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Hostler.
Aye.
Vanderwall.
Aye.
Krogman.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Letter F is an action to approve agreement 23-66, an application for occupied right-of-way of county highways made by Sioux Valley Energy in Richland Township. Is there a motion to approve?
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion, comments on this? Hearing none, please call the roll. Or excuse me, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Letter G is an action to approve agreement 23-67, an application of occupancy of right-of-way, county highways made by Sioux Valley Energy in Preston Township. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion, comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Letter H, action to approve agreement 23-68, an application of occupancy of right-of-way of county highways made by Sioux Valley Energy in Sterling Township. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Is there a second? All right, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, getting close here. Letter I, we'll do one more. Action to approve the letting authorization for project number 08MJ. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
Okay, discussion, comments. So this is a federal grant?
This was a local federal grant that we received in 2021. The structure number is 06-287-040.
All right, and we have a 20% match in this, I'm thinking. Is that what the federal one is?
I think it's less than that. I think it's like 18.
Oh, is it? Okay. All right, good. So
18
this is not
plus,
the
but I
state one,
think
these are the federal ones.
This
that
was a
we
local federal grant.
Qualified for, okay, good. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, we got 9 o'clock on our clock on the wall back there, so we're going to go to our scheduled agenda items. First of the scheduled agenda items, the letter A is action to approve agreement 23-62, an application of occupancy of right-of-way for county highways made by 3M in Aurora Township. Is there a motion to approve?
Move approval. Second.
Second. Okay, discussion, comments. Kevin?
Hi, I'm Kevin Eisen with Bar Engineering. We're an environmental consulting firm working for 3M. What we're doing is a groundwater investigation. The state of South Dakota, Southeast SDDANR, asked us to install monitoring wells off of the 3M property. So we've got agreements in place for City of Brookings, Brookings Municipal Utilities, South Dakota DOT, and we're also asking for permission to put in a nested well in the county right-of-way as well.
Where exactly are we at on, or I guess I'm,
So this is immediately east of the LG Everett Quarry
Okay.
on 34th Avenue.
okay,
And it's on the west side of the road,
the
as
ditch?
close to the edge of the right-of-way as we can be to avoid snowplow issues, essentially.
Gotcha.
Yep, there's the image right there.
so looks like there's, what, 4 of them, is that, what, or,
So there's one well on the county right-of-way, and that's monitoring well 25, located in the far southeast corner of the figure you see there, just to the right, down to the right, slightly more to the right. There you go. That's the proposed monitoring well location. That's on the county right-of-way. Those pink dots are our proposed monitoring well locations. No problem. So we've got 11 locations around town off of the property, as noted, as part of the continuation of the investigation activities that DANR is asking 3M to perform.
gotcha. All right. Any further comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you for your time.
You bet. All right, next of our schedule, action annual update. Eric, can you please introduce yourself? And
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, Eric Coonsweiler, CEO, ICAP, Interlakes Community Action. Thanks for having me. Wanted to continue the tradition that Cindy had as the longtime CEO of coming up about every other year to introduce ourselves to the commission and to just kind of give you a quick update on what we're doing in the county. So in your packets, Stacy was able to get the county services report, everything that we have provided in Brookings County for the last year. Important to note, only 2 homes were weatherized. However, we did get a tremendous increase in funding for that program, about $5 million over the next 5 years. So you'll see a huge uptick with that program here in the next 5 years. So it's about a 5-year program for that one. 60s plus dining, very strong up here in Brookings County, 40,316 meals this last year to 452 seniors. We did move our ICAP offices. We were just right over here on the other side of the Elks Lodge, the activity center. Now we're over on 8th Street, next to, you know where that's at. So. Important to note, our board, about 2 years ago, went from a 42-member board down to a 15-member board. So counties kind of consolidated into regions. So now we have 5 regions. Brookings County is with Lake County and Moody County. So your region's representative right now is Jerry Doyle from Moody County. And Kelly has come to a few meetings. Mike and Ryan, you guys have been involved with ICAP a long time as well. So that's about all I have, unless you guys have questions for me.
How is funding looking? I mean, obviously a lot of it's federal, and you just sometimes, when I was on the board, it was always like, are we going to get our funding? Are we not going to get our funding? And how many things can we do? Is that getting better, or is that still on
Yeah, that's a
wait and
great
see?
question. So, obviously with COVID, we saw a huge increase in funding for a variety of different reasons, mainly emergency rental assistance, which we've helped a lot of families up here in Brookings County with as well. Our core funding source is the Community Services Block Grant. The last couple of years, we've been very fortunate. There was some money that was held back from the Janklow era when he was the governor that was actually released to us the last 2 years, so it doubled our funding the last couple of years. However, we're going back to 3 years ago funding now with that Community Services Block Grant. That's our core funding source. It's about $1 million a year. However, it's federal funds, but it's very flexible. We can do a lot of different things with that funding, which lets us leverage the remaining programs you see here to administer those programs. ICAP has about a $22 million a year budget right now. So I do want to note, thank you for the ARPA funding that you guys allocated to us. It's probably been a couple of years now, Stacy, I suppose. That allowed us to acquire and rehabilitate our main office in Madison, which is now complete. We moved in about 9 months ago, so really appreciate that as well. And your continued support with your funding to support our community service worker here in Brookings. That's our frontline worker that does case management with families and steers them in whatever direction we need to help them out. So appreciate that.
The weatherization project, what's all involved with that?
So it's a program that allows we've got a crew that can go in and audit a home and to make that home more energy efficient, whether it's windows, insulation, siding, shingles. We also have a rehab program in-house. They can kind of work together, a home rehab program, which actually our director is housed here in Brookings as well. So our mutual self-help housing program, we've built over 200 homes, most of them here in Brookings. So it's where we hire a construction supervisor, and that supervisor helps anywhere between 4 and 7 families at a time build their own homes. And when they're done, they have about $60,000 in equity, $30,000 to $60,000 in equity, which is the leading program in the nation. So it's a great program up here.
All right, any other comments, questions? Thank you, we appreciate
you.
it. Good to see you.
Yeah,
and
good to
great
see you.
job. Back to our regular business. Letter J is an action to approve the engagement letter with the Department of Legislative Audit for the 2021-2022 audit. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
All right, discussion, comments? Hello.
Good morning. My name is David Weidler, Department of Legislative Audit. As the letter states, we are here to perform your 21-22 financial and compliance audit. We are here to provide our opinion on the statements, the notes, and all the supplementary information, which are listed on the first page. Most of the major items in the letter is that the county has requested our assistance in the preparation of the notes to the financial statements, the schedule of county share of debt pension liability, and the schedule of expenditures of federal awards. While we will compile them from your records, management is responsible for all final decisions on those items. And then I guess the other major thing is our billable rate, which is found on the second to the last page towards the top. The fiscal year rate 23 is $78 an hour. I have not seen an updated state FY24 billable rate, but it should be roughly around the same amount. We want to bill you for our travel to your location and back from our home base, or any time spent on any other projects while we are here. Do you guys have any other questions for me?
Questions, comments? Lori, anything? Any comments, questions? No?
For those of you who were here when we did the 2020 audit, I don't expect it should take us as long as that one. We've already been here for about 2 weeks. I can't imagine it's going to take us much longer unless we run into other major issues. Starting in November, we're going to be pulled off to help finish the statewide audit, but I don't expect that to delay us past the end of the year. So,
All right. Any other comments?
I just have one question. I'm new, so when you say we, is that 5 people or is it 4? Or?
there is 3 of us that are mostly working on the audit, and then 1 that's kind of overseeing a bunch of other audits.
All right, any other further questions? All right, thanks, David.
I do
Appreciate
have one question
Yeah.
outside of the engagement letter. Are you guys as the board aware of any fraud, waste, or abuse that is going on that you would like us to be aware of?
No.
Okay. That is all I have. Thank you for your
All right.
time.
Thank you. All right, so we have a motion to approve the letter, engagement letter. Is there any further discussion, comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, letter K is an action to approve the application for permission to enter road advisories and closures into the SD 511 and name Emergency Manager Director Robert Hill as Brookings County primary point of contact. Is there a motion to approve?
Move approval. Second.
Second. Okay, discussion, comments?
Yeah, as stated in the letter that was sent to the board for last meeting, I did discuss it with the sheriff and the highway superintendent, and basically what the procedure would be for Brookings County is the highway department typically gets out earlier in the morning so they can advise the school superintendents on school buses traveling. So what would happen is the highway would contact the sheriff with the recommendation one way or the other, and then the sheriff would contact me, and if by chance the contact came to me instead of the sheriff, I would contact the sheriff. So who would be in the loop would be the county highway superintendent or the county highway department, whoever's running the show that day, the sheriff's office, and then it would come to my office to put whatever recommendation they had on the 511 site. And it may very well be that the interstate's closed, but that the county roads stay open. I mean, that's one of the options. And of course, the other option is if they close the interstate and the county highways are so blown over and there's no way of getting the roads clear, that we close the county until they're passable. So,
Further discussion, comments?
Bob, is there a set kind of guidelines for the county, like a checklist for if they're bad or what to kind of go by, or is it more of the person driving the roads?
that would be a county highway superintendent, and with their years of experience and all that, that is not a call that the emergency management office would make. We have, emergency management is more of a coordinating office.
Yeah.
And I would have to take the recommendation. If it comes from the county highway and the sheriff, because the county highway goes out at, God only knows what time in the morning, but the sheriff has deputies out 24 hours a day. So that's why it's a combination between those two. Then it comes to me, and basically all I am is a computer operator at that time, but
10-4.
I don't know if that answered, but
Just a quick question, Bob. In this particular 511 authorization to close county highways, and is there an enforcement issue with that? Is there an ordinance written that if they are out on county highways after 511, you get fined? I mean, you can't go down the interstate because they put the closures down, right? And if you go out there around the enclosures, you get fined, so to speak. Is there
I would
any
have to-
enforcement with 511 with county if they're closed?
This is a new program. I am not a legal authority by any stretch of the imagination, so I would have to, that question would have to be sent to the state's attorney's office, and of course, he'd have to have time to research it and get back to us with an answer. It's not something we can just bat to him right now, and he would be able to answer off the top of his head. Well, I wouldn't expect him to give me an answer off the top of his head.
Thanks, Bob.
I'm just trying to be professional courtesy. I mean,
I guess what I'm looking at is if you're gonna have a 511 emergency closure of roads in the county, that if there's not an enforcement policy of some sort and a deterrent that's financial, it just becomes a recommendation. I think the public needs to know one way or the other, what is it?
well, what the public needs to know, and I'm really sincere in this one, if this is approved and sent to the Department of Transportation, we would also contact the 911 center and probably have to have a sit-down with their supervisors saying, we do not want to risk our first responders going out on a mission when we make the recommendation from the highest law enforcement in the county to not be on the roads. We don't want to risk our first responders to go out there. Now, sometimes the public has a hard time following any rules that the government puts out, and I'm sorry for that, but that's my opinion, no one else's opinion. I just don't think it's worth us risking a first responder's life to go out if we've said the road is closed until the road is safe to travel on. And that includes when I say first responders, I'm talking anywhere from tow truck operators to try to get people out, ambulances and things like that. Obviously, if there's someone stuck out there as a first responding, we're gonna get to them as soon as we possibly can, but we're not gonna risk this life and safety of a first responder to go out there when the road was fully annotated as being no travel advised.
Sheriff, you got a question, comment?
I've never, when we give out our announcements, and when normally, a lot of it has to do with the wind, and if highway calls out their trucks and Brian calls me and says, hey, it's too windy out there, it's drifting in as fast as they're doing it and they go off, then I usually put out advise no travel. I've never closed a county road and say these roads are closed. It's pretty much impossible to close them to the fact of so cars don't go on them. So I usually just say we advise no travel. The snow plows are in and so forth. Now, 2 years ago, the state closed the state you know, they closed the interstate, then they closed the state roads, but there's no way to block those. Like Highway 30, they put 4 cones across the street to block Highway 30, you know, they blew in the ditch, basically, and we had I couldn't get to the stranded motorists, but a farmer was able to get to them and so forth. So if there's emergency, we have the local snowmobile club that goes out, will go out and those types of things. So far, I've not ever closed, say the county's closed. I usually say advise no travel due to the snow plows coming in and that. You know, we could work on, I know we looked up some statutes last year that we thought might work. We didn't talk to the state's attorney about it yet, though, but I don't know if we have to devise one or if there's a statute out there that we could use to if we close a county road and then they go out. Some counties say once they close, or not, they advise no travel and they get stuck out there, they don't go out and rescue them. They just leave them there until the next morning. That's what some counties do, if they advise no travel and they still go out. But, normally, we advise no travel, and it's been working, but that isn't saying that. It depends on the snow. You talk to the farmers, and they got all these aches and pains this year, so they say there's going to be more snow, so we'll see what happens.
All right, any more comments, questions? All right, we have a motion on the table to give permission to enter our road advisories for SD 511. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Is there those opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. We'll
Thank
process
you.
the paperwork.
All right, letter L is action to automatically supplement for unanticipated expenses incurred and reimbursement made to Brookings County in the amount of $100,836.45. The reimbursement of a courthouse security grant, receipt number 006554111, to general ledger line 301-4-161-4295. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Okay, discussion, comments.
This is the courthouse security grant that we received from UJS. This is 75% of the security upgrade project that we did earlier this year.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Letter M is action to automatically supplement for unanticipated expenses incurred and reimbursement made to Brookings County in the amount of $1,000 using LACTF funds for the National Center for Public Lands NACO initiative. Receipt number 006499725 to general ledger line 101-4-111-4292. Is there a motion to approve?
Move approval?
Second.
Second. Discussion, comments.
The board actually approved this expenditure at the last meeting. These particular funds had been just receipted into the general fund, so we're pulling out $1,000 of those funds with this process to get this check cut and sent on to NACO for this initiative.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Letter N is action to automatically supplement for unanticipated expenses incurred and reimbursements made to Brookings County in the amount of $124,137.40. FEMA reimbursement for the East Highway Shed. Receipt number 0064714 to general ledger line 301-4-161-4293. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second. Discussion, comments.
This is reimbursement. The East Highway Shed, if you recall, was destroyed in the derecho back in May of 2022. We have the bid notice out right now, I believe, is published, getting bids in for this particular, for this project. If these funds are not expended this year, then we'll be looking at doing like a budget supplement for this for next year, but we wanted to get these funds recognized this year to be used for this project.
All right, any further comments, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Letter O is action to approve a cash transfer from the General Fund 101 to Building Fund 301 in the amount of $341,645.87. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, comments?
So just due to where some of these insurance payments were receipted into originally in the general fund, we need to move those over to the 301 or building fund. Because that's where those expenses will be recognized. So the brew shop, we did that auto sup that was done on October 10th. And for $217,508.47. And then today, we just did that FEMA reimbursement for the $124,137. So for total cash transfer from general fund to the 301 fund for $341,645.87.
All right. Any other comments, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Letter P is a consensus to publish a notice of supplemental budget hearing. So we need a consensus of the board. What's the background on this?
I need consensus from the board to even start the publication process to publish a notice for public hearing for a supplemental budget resolution. Again, this is it'll be specifically right now, I know that 301, our building fund for these insurance reimbursements for the East Highway Shed and the brew shop, we had some money that we got in 2022 for those from our insurance that we need to pull out to put into that. So that's specifically what I'm asking for. In the interim, I'm going to be kind of reviewing all budgets to see if there's anything else that we also need to do here before year end with a supplemental budget process, and I'll include those as well, but I haven't had time to research that yet, but I know that the insurance money for sure, we will need to do that for.
All right, do we have a consensus for that? Yeah, looks like we do, so good to move forward. Okay, letter Q, action to approve volunteer board appointments, and we'll take all of these one at a time. If anybody has comments or questions on either of these, certainly welcome to there, but we'll take one at a time here. So, first of all, for the Planning and Zoning Commission, first person up is Randy Jensen, District 2 representative for a 4-year term. Is there a motion to approve?
Move approval?
Second. Any comments, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Letter B is Mark Jornby for also the Planning and Zoning Commission, District 4 representative for a 4-year term. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion, comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Another Planning and Zoning Commission is Dale Storhaug for Planning and Zoning alternate, 3-year term. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
Second. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. For the Weed and Pest Board, Joel Ripley for a 3-year term. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion, comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. For the Brookings Health System Board, Mary Ann Krogh for a 3-year term. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion
Move
approved.
approval? Second.
All right. Comments, discussion? I would just say I'm on that board, and Mary Ann is the head nursing director up at SDSU, so she's perfect for that board and does a great job. And so I'm glad to have her wanting to re-up her term. So, all right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The BCOAC Advisory Board. First is Andy Dupre, 4-H Extension Member for a 2-year term. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Comments, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Letter B, again for the BCOAC Advisory Board, Arden Siegel. He's Pistol Range Volunteer Member for a 2-year term. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
Second. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So just on those 2 for the BCOAC board, it's good. Those guys have been long-term members, and I'm happy they're signing up again. They really bring a lot to our board there, so I'm glad to see those guys continue to volunteer.
And I believe Arden, I mean, he volunteers a majority of the volunteer hours out there. He
Yeah.
does a very good job.
He's integral to that, running well too, so. All right, next up is the Extension Board. 1-year term, Laura Stern. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second discussion, comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Letter B, again, Extension Board, Susan Vanderwall for a 1-year term. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And Jennifer Pickard for a 1-year term for the Extension Board. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
Second. Discussion, comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Just to kind of give you an update, we have reposted some jobs that did not receive applications. We have the community member at large for the BCOAC Advisory Board. Extension Board, we still need 3 applications there. Housing and Redevelopment Commission, one there. And then I believe the 4-H Promotion and Expansion Committee, that no longer exists. Is that correct, Larry?
According to the state, when they reorganized, the extension board is now also the promotion and expansion board.
Okay, so we'll take that one off. We hadn't had an applicant for the one position. It was actually an unexpired term. We do have someone else that was technically on, I think, through next year, but I don't know if that person has been informed that has Sonia reached out to those members to tell them?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
The duties of the promotion expansion, some of the criteria and duties changed with the reorganization, so.
okay.
All right. Next up is Commission Director report.
Let's see. We do have the September VSO numbers. Both of our Veteran Service Officer and Veteran Service Assistant both went to the state VSO training in September. 158 appointments and Veterans Assisted, 8 DAV van rides, and 4 outreach events that they attended in September. The general fund surplus of 25% here at September month end, slightly higher still than the 10-year average of 22.3. Again, we'll recognize probably an influx here of revenue in October with second half taxes, so we'll continue to keep an eye on that and see if there's any need to do some year-end assignments here as we wrap up the year. This next Sioux Valley Commissioners meeting, our 10-county meeting, is Wednesday, November 8th. It's at noon at Clear Lake. Duval County is hosting. I know several of you have already told me you plan to attend. I think Mike and Larry and Kelly have all said they plan. No, Kelly cannot. Mike and Larry plan to attend. Sean or Ryan, do you plan to go to that?
Yeah, I can go.
Yeah, I can go too.
Okay. We have received several public hearing notices, one from the city of Aurora for the creation of a tax increment financing district number 1. That's on Monday the 6th at 6 p.m. I did hand out a couple additional public hearing notices this morning from the city of Brookings on TIF districts. That is November 7th at 5:30, I believe, here in the chambers for both of those. Those were handouts this morning for you. The chambers legislative look ahead. It was November 8th. It got moved. It's now Wednesday, December 13th. If you know now, if you plan to attend, I know an RSVP for that is required. That's with David Owen comes and speaks about kind of his forecast for the upcoming legislative session. Wednesday, December 13th is the new date, not November 8th that went out and then got changed. So, okay. Ryan, Mike, I saw Sean.
December 13th.
December 13th. It's a Wednesday.
I'll have,
What's that?
what time is it?
Um,
I'll look, I'll check everything.
8 in the morning.
8 o'clock in the morning.
8:30 starts.
Yeah.
I'll get
Okay. Larry, are we, yeah, okay. And then, let's see. You're also invited on Tuesday, November 14th at 8 o'clock, is Coffee with Legislators. This is a chamber BEDC event. It's out at the Dakota Byproducts Institute, out at the Research Park. If, do you know, does anyone want to attend that event? I believe that's at, I think, 8 a.m.
Which one's, what date is that again?
Tuesday, November 14th. Was a late add to my public notices. 8 a.m. Mike? Kelly? Okay. No? Sean, do you know about that one?
I do. I have it on the schedule.
Okay. This morning, also, I handed out to you your manila envelopes. That is your open enrollment information for 2024 for insurances. I think those are due to Kristen by the end of the week. So if you could get those filled out and turned back in to her, if you want to drop them off with me too, that's fine. Otherwise, the only other thing I have is upcoming dates. We did talk about that change, the first one, that November 8th, that's now December 13th on a Wednesday. Sioux Valley Commissioners meeting on November 8th. Offices will be closed on Friday, November 10th for Veterans Day. As Sonia had mentioned earlier, the 4-H recognition event is Tuesday, November 14th. I believe that's out at the BCOAC. I don't have a time. I'll reach out to Sonia and try to get some additional details for you. 5 o'clock. The board was also invited to a retirement party for Dave Buckles after 50 years on the Aurora Fire Department. That's at 1 o'clock, again, Tuesday the 19th at Lemke's Bar in Aurora.
It doesn't, 19th doesn't line up.
Oh, maybe I was looking at the wrong thing. November 19th, I think, is the date. So if I might have the wrong day, I'll double check that and I can send that. I think I got an email that I can send.
Stacy, did your neighbor get you an invite for the Sinai Fire Department feed on November 5th?
I have not seen that yet, no.
Okay.
I think I have seen something. So November 5th, there's a Sinai Fire Department feed. I can try to get some additional details from him too.
6.
5th is a Sunday. Other than that, other things are a little bit further out yet. So that's all I have unless you have questions for me.
Questions, Stacy? All right. Number 10 is State's Attorney's Office report.
Yeah, I would just tell the commission that the Department of Corrections awarded Brookings County for fiscal incentive program. That's a statewide program that the state has through DOC, but that number is based on the number of juvenile referrals to a court-approved diversion program, and then based on each referral, they give you a certain dollar amount. And so last year, for the calendar year, we had the number of referrals equaling $6,000. So that's just paid to the county's general fund. So.
All right. Sounds good. Next is commission reports.
On October 12, I participated say thank you to Brian for that and the rest of the commissioners. I learned a lot that day and appreciate that very much. I'd like to note I will not be able to be here next commission meeting. I'll be gone November 2 through 12. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Bartley.
All right, on the 10th after our commission meeting, we did well. On the 12th, the county road tour. Learned something I get on county roads I hadn't been on in a long time. 13th, I attended 3M's groundbreaking out of 3M plant and their new multi-million dollar, $350 million expansion. Had a lot of dignitaries there. Both our senators and our governor were there. Was well attended. On the 16th, we had a meeting for Brookings Behavioral Health, a board meeting. Talked about the building and the grants and fundraising things that are coming up in the very near future. Things are moving well on that particular project. On the 18th, we had a BDC meeting at noon. Nothing earth-shaking at that particular meeting, but we got through it on time. So we were out of there on time. The 21st, the chairman and I, Brian, we attended a GOP meeting to give a county update, and I'll let him tell you what we updated him on. And that's my report.
Yeah, thank you for that.
On the 10th, also on the 12th, like I said, went on the county road tour. It's interesting to see what all's went on during the summer on the construction projects. On the 14th, they attended the President's Hobo Day breakfast along with Commissioner Bartley. We watched the parade from the steps of the Art Center, being we didn't participate in the parade this year. On the 19th, we had an E911 meeting. They're looking forward into the future here. There's a possibility of some remodel and moving the 911 call center to a separate part of the existing building, and they're currently looking for bids and such to see if that'll be a reality here. So some of the equipment in the E911 center is being outdated, and some of it's being patched together so to be used until that time. We'll see in the future what happens there. On the 20th, at an extension board meeting, like I said, we have 3 openings on the extension board. Encourage anybody that's interested to get a hold of our extension board, Sonia Mack, our advisor out there, if you're interested. Like Sonia just gave in a report, the shooting sports continue to increase, and I'd like to thank all the volunteers that have come forward to make that happen. The shooting sports, I mean, they need the volunteers to support the number of kids that are interested. There was actually a waiting list last year. So on the 20th, after the extension board meeting, Commissioner Vanderwall and I were in conversation, and we talked a little bit about some snow fence at Aurora Corner. After our conversation, I called a DOT regional supervisor in this area. I also spoke with Brian at our county highway, and hopefully we can coordinate together to get some snow fence established, least by the intersection there at Aurora, to help with snow on the intersection. I guess that's all I got.
All right, Commissioner Hostler.
Yeah, so on the 10th, department head evals. On the 12th, county road tour. It's nice to see what improvements are happening and what is in the upcoming future. And then on the 18th, also attended the BEDC board meeting by Zoom. That is my report.
All right, yeah, on the 10th, I was there for department head reviews. I attended the PPCC and the POD meeting at the Brookings Health System boardroom. On the 19th, we had the E911 meeting with Commissioner Jensen, and one thing I would talk about is we do have some funds in there to be able to do this project. One of the thought was that we'd be updating our 911 facilities maybe with a new city building and project, and they're not sure when that will go or how that will go. So there's more of an immediate need to update our 911 systems. And so with moving them in a different part of the building will allow them to have a very short downtime. If we were to update right where they're at, we'd have to take stuff down, put it in, and there's a chance for a long 911 for some coverage from somewhere else. So I'm moving them and putting some money into that building there and updating our equipment, which then if the city does build their new law enforcement center, that equipment can all be moved to that building there too. But they figured they'd be only down by about 4 or 5 hours after they made the switch on it too. So they've had, I don't know if they've had requests for proposals yet or anything, but they've had a lot of people take a look at it, and they just said your switches are starting to deteriorate, and you're on one switch, and if one switch goes down, the whole process goes down. So they're moving forward with that, and obviously we're involved with that through 911. Also, we had a growth partnership meeting out at the research park. Things are going very well. The Poet Bioproducts had their opening, which was standing room only, and it was well attended, and they're really excited about that building and the opportunities that possesses through the partnership with SDSU and out there at the research park. So it's a really positive growth out there at the growth partnership. And then also on the 21st with Commissioner Bartley, I met with a Republican meeting there and started out and just talked about our budget. We just passed our budget and our mill levies and all that good stuff. And then we talked about our highway, department and our potential plans down the road to improve that or make improvements to that. And then just took questions. We did have some questions about voting on our vote there if we're going to purchase that software for the stuff, and we said no, we are not. We're not doing that, and unless it's a requirement of the state that it's done. So, but I think we are talking about we are going to have our first audit, post-election audit. That'll be done this year. So we did let them know we'll be doing that because they did ask if we would, and we'll be doing. I think it's a 5% of precincts on a hand count to verify. And so we told them we will be doing that and stuff. So it was a good meeting. We spoke for about a half hour, 45 minutes. So, all right. Anything else on that? Anybody else? All right. Otherwise, we'll go into executive here for, in accordance to South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2, number 4, contract negotiations. We do not have any other agenda items afterwards. So I'd look for a motion to enter into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Hey, Bob,